Ang bawat alaala mahalaga. Pero paano na lang kung isa-isa itong maglaho na parang bula? Ganito ang dinaranas ng mga taong may dementia. Ang madalas tamaan nito, mga matatanda. Paano nga ba ito hinaharap ng kanilang mga kaanak na nag-aalaga sa kanila? Yan ang pag-uusapan ni Doc Ana kasama ang grief, loss and transition coach na si Cathy Sanchez-Babao sa episode na ito ng Share Ko Lang.
Hello mga kapuso! Ako si Dr. Ana Tuazon, ang inyong kakwentuhan na psychologist sa Share Ko Lang. Tinanong namin kayo kung ano ang karanasan ninyo sa inyong pag-aalaga sa inyong mga magulang na nagkaroon ng dementia. Pag-uusapan natin ang inyong mga shinare kasama si Cathy Babao, anak ng batikang aktres na si Cathy Sanchez na na-diagnose na merong dementia. Hello Cathy, and thank you for being willing to share today.
Hi, Doc Ana.
First of all, kamusta si Miss Caridad ngayon?
Well, my mom just turned 90 last August 1st. So, sa major milestone, di ba? 90 siya. So, malakas si Mami. I mean, physically, she's very strong. She walks when the weather is good, every day. She does a lot of things still, on her own. But of course, she's 90 and like any other super senior, diba, with dementia or not, sometimes there are challenges, especially like sa balance, diba, ganyan. So, we're more careful with her. Pero physically, I would say she's like, malakas siya for a 90-year-old. And we're very grateful for that.
I think that's one of the parang hindi nare-realize ng mga tao na parang having dementia doesn't actually necessarily affect everything. In fact, the physical can be so healthy. Sadly, maraming mga tao hindi talaga nakakasik ng help early enough. Kasi talagang ang una lang sinasabi, hindi, dahil matanda lang yan. Sa pagtanda lang yan. How was it? How did you get the sense na, okay, something's going on. This is not typical of my mom. This is not just aging.
Una kong napansin, yun nga, parang may mood changes, no? May mood changes and then parang masayahin kasi siya So parang parang nagkaka-depression, which later on we find out that it is one of the first, right, symptoms or signs of possible dementia. Parang things that she used to remember so well, hindi na niya naaalala. So it was then that we had her, tested in the memory center of one of our hospitals. And it was, through testing, of course, initially it's always mild cognitive, what is the term for it again?
Mild cognitive impairment, MCI.
But I guess now, through the years, we can see that my mom's progress, it's no longer mild cognitive impairment. So, yon. So, tsaka, I think the key is early detection because then there are things, exercises, medication that pwede mong ibigay to slow down, right? I mean, it doesn't stop the disease, but it slows down the progression.
So siguro para lang sa ating mga viewers, sa ating mga kapuso, kasi ang una talagang confusion is paano natin malalaman kung simple forgetting lang ba yan, simple aging, or baka kailangan na talagang i-check, no? Parang ito yung mga things na otherwise never makakalimutan. Di Miss Caridad, di ba? So for example, kung ang tao ay isang accountant, di ba? At maano sa numbers, talagang that's one of the last things to go, actually, these certain skills.
Right.
So pag nakita natin, teka, hindi siya to Ang galing-galing niya sa pera, ang galing-galing niya sa numbers, or talagang alam niya lahat ng birthdays, no? So, titingnan natin parang, okay, alam natin, this is something that my mother or my parent rehearses and practices every day. And yet somehow, parang nawala. No? Nawala yung skill. So, yun po, Oo, yun po yung distinctive difference. Hindi yung parang, ay, teka, matagal ko na itong hindi nakita. Sino ba to? Diba? That's maybe
Yeah.
more normative. Diba? Parang mas okay
Right.
lang. Kasi it makes sense. Nakalimutan natin. But if it's
Yeah.
something, usually either everyday encounters, everyday relationships, o kaya sa profession, no, sa ating mga trabaho, usually po, yun ang isa sa mga huling mawawala talaga. So,
Oo,
napaka-important. Some people nga parang, masakit talagang maramdaman at marinig na yung iba sinasabi nila, hindi na ito yung nanay na kilala ko. Yung parang di ba, hindi na nila nakikilala. And yet, you
Right.
had this very touching moment, no, where, you asked her if who you are to her. Can you tell us a little bit?
Right. So, medyo patapos na yung lunch, magana siya kumain, she feeds herself, ganyan and all that. So, I said, oh, mom, I don't even remember now if I said mom. I said, you're not, I know this is wrong, you're not supposed to test them. You're not supposed
But
to
you can't help it, syempre.
who you are. I said, who am I? Mag-ano tayo, ganyan. Ano ako, ganyan, or yun, ano ako, ano mo ako, ano ako sa'yo. Tapos yun, sabi niya, ikaw, sabi niya ganon, you are love, sabi niya. So, parang nabilaukan niya ata ako nung sinabi niya yung, you are love. Tapos, sabi ko, wow, I'm love. Sabi niya, yes, sabi niya, and I love you very much, sabi niya.
And the more important thing is, alam niya na love ka niya.
Oo.
Diba?
Oo, di ba? At saka para sa akin, nararamdaman niya, di ba? Which I think is the more important thing for me at this point in the journey. It doesn't matter na kung, okay, may araw, magkapatid kami, may araw, kaibigan ako, may araw, anak. I'm her daughter. What's important now is that she knows that we love her, or that she can feel that, diba? And I think feeling never also goes away for patients with dementia.
So, tinanong namin ang mga kapuso kung ano yung mga naging karanasan nila. So, sabi ng isa nating kapuso, sabi niya, lagi ko lang iniisip yung sakripisyo at mga paghihirap niya sa amin nung bata pa kami at nag-aaral. Halos dugot pawis ang kanyang puhunan, maibigay lang sa amin ang aming pangangailangan. Ngayon, ako naman ang kailangan ng aking tatay. Hindi ako magsasawa na alagaan at unawain ang kanyang kondisyon. Mahal na mahal ko ang aking tatay. Walang magbabago kahit mayroon siyang dementia sa ngayon. Yan. Yung that sense of, diba, this is part of it. Diba? This is part of taking care of them, loving them. Siguro, kasi yun na nga, very important din na hindi natin maalala si Miss Caridad dun sa kanyang dementia status lang, diba? She's way more than that. Yeah. So, is there, parang ano yung mga naalala mo? Parang, especially now that you're in a more, di ba, parang may pagka-reversal, di ba? Tayo na mas pasensyosa. Di ba? Sige na, kung anong gusto nila, inaalagaan natin sila. Is there anything about this caregiving experience that made you remember, ay, ganito nga pala magmahal at mag-alaga si Mami?
Yeah, yun. Yung happy-happy siya pagka dadalaw kami, ganyan. Or meron siyang pag nandyan yung mga apo niya, happy siya. Or pag, kahit alam ko, hindi na niya naaalala minsan kung apo ba niya yon, ganyan, no? But the presence of people, may kausap, or laging sa bahay, kailangan laging merong TV, or laging merong music, ayaw niya yung tahimik masyado kasi malungkot daw, ganyan. But you can still see also that she's feisty, parang it still pops up now and then, ganyan. Malakas pa rin yung timbre ng boses niya pag hindi siya happy, ganyan. Or pag matagal kang sumagot, yun, nalalakas yung boses niya. So, yeah, we try to, it's still there. Alam mo yun, your loved one, your parent is still there. Kaya nga, ano rin, di ba, we never talk about them in the third person. Lalo kung nandyan sa, you're all together.
Nandiyan naman sila, pero parang
Nandiyan
pinag-uusapan sila, imbes na kinakausap.
Oo, napipick up nila yon, nararamdaman nila yon. No? Never talk about them, ganyan, in the third person kasi nandyan sila. Para bang out of respect, di ba? Kung walang dementia yung tao, would you talk about them in the third person? Hindi, di ba? So, ganun din yon dapat. Huwag yung parang bata na hindi di ba? Too young to understand. It's not a good practice.
Meron naman tayong isa pang kapuso na ang kwento niya, mama ng hobby ko ang inaalagaan ko na may dementia. Masayahin siya, laging binabanggit yung mga masasayang nakaraan nila. Sabi ko, mas okay na ang ganon na ang naiwang alaala sa kanya ay puro masasayang buhay na magkakasama sila ng mga anak niya. Hindi na niya ramdam ang bawat problema sa mundo at ibang pinagdadaanan ng mga anak niya ngayon dahil nakatatak na sa isip at puso niya yung magagandang nakaraan sa pamilya niya. Now, there are some, di ba, hindi siya upside pero di ba, there are some, yun nga, kanina may touching moments, sweet moments. Minsan there is some things na with my lola, she's far enough, with her dementia that actually mas masaya na siya ngayon. When it first started, 'di ba, mas maraming agitation, frustration kasi may awareness pa siya na may nakakalimutan siya. Pero ngayon parang very living in the moment, no? Very present na lang, parang okay, kung masarap yung pagkain, masaya na siya, ganon. May napansin ka bang parang okay, at least meron konting parang lightness.
Yes. Well, especially starting, I thought about this, especially starting when COVID happened, no? When the pandemic happened. Kasi may mom, kahit matapang yan, nervyosa, parang I think it's a family trait actually, na merong sort of medyo mataas ang level of anxiety niya when it comes to her loved ones, no? So, sabi ko I could imagine, sabi ko, naku, mabuti na lang hindi niya grasp na completely kung ano yung pandemic at kung ano yung COVID. Otherwise, di ba, nervous breakdown siya, ganyan. Because nga of what was happening in the world, right? Wala na yung lahat. So, sabi ko, parang okay din, di ba, na you just live from moment to moment, di ba? You're just mindful of what's there. I think that's a gift, that's a lesson that I'm learning from watching her.
Yeah. Meron ding aspect ng experience ng mga relatives and loved ones na kasi nga, di ba, may mga pagbabago and yung pagbabago nito minsan dahil nga nawawala lang yung filter or actually nalala ko na kasi as a napo, syempre marami akong hindi alam sa lola ko. Alam ko lang siya as a lola. So, nung medyo nagpa-progress na nakikita ko, ay, ganito pala siya pagdalaga. Lumalabas yung, may stages, di ba? And so, instead of siguro instead of mourning the loss of, di ba, oh, this is how I knew her before, meron ka bang mga na-discover, di ba? Parang it's like getting to know her again, di ba?
True. To your point, no, it's like getting to know, ikaw, mas nakikilala mo yung lola mo, di ba? Ito naman, it's like getting to know your parent all over again, di ba? Through a different lens. Kasi, syempre, you only know them from the time na may malay ka at magulang mo na sila, di ba? So, alam ko talaga mabiba siya, ganyan. Pero ngayon, pag nasa mood siya, ay talagang mabibang-mabiba siya. Mahilig yung sumayaw, ganyan. She loves to dance. Alam mo yun? Pag may music, ganyan, gusto niya yung sumasayaw. Kasi mahilig siya sumayaw, magaling yun mag-boogie eh. So, when there's music, she likes to dance and move around. Gusto niya yung tumatawa, laughter. So, sa kanya, ayaw niya nung malungkot.
Yeah. Parang, napaka-interesting nun kasi actually, you would know if, kunyari, if she had, di ba, parang if she didn't have dementia necessarily, and she was retired and she was enjoying her life, it sounds like she would do those things Anyway, she would dance, she would socialize.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. Although she was like, she probably would have went on working, after.
Yung workaholic side. So, meron naman tayong isa pang kapuso na nagsabi, minsan masaya, kaya lang minsan maiinis ka. Hindi na maintindihan yung sinasabi. Siyempre, pasensya talaga kasi paulit-ulit talaga yung kwento. Tapos minsan biglang magsasalita ng diretso at nakakasama ng loob. Kaya lang, walang magagawa, magulang kasi, kaya kahit sa huling sandali, aalagaan mo pa rin sila hanggang sa dulo. Wala na sabi. I don't, buti na lang hindi rin ako yung type na yung tatanim. Kasi there was time in the first few years, ganun. Minsan, tatawagan ka, pagkatas maya't-maya, mag-a-argue na kayo. Alam mo yun, parang, saan galing yun, di ba? Or like, where's that coming from na it swings, ganun, mainit ang ulo, nakakasama ng loob. But then later on, in hindsight, okay, yun na pala yun, di ba? Yun na pala yun. Science na pala yun. Medyo too feisty. Yeah, too feisty. And hindi madali ma-develop. Kahit na alam mo, di ba? Parang alam mo, ito, sintomas to. Di ba? Hindi ito talaga si mama, parang sintomas to. At the same time, syempre, pag nararanasan mo may masakit na sinabi, nanay mo yun Kahit ano pa. So, hindi talaga madali i-develop yung gano'n na hindi mo pa personalin, hindi mo masyadong siseryosohin. And in a way, it's such a good life skill overall. Imagine kung kaya nating mag-interact with our loved ones na kahit hindi na kayo nag-agree, di ba? Kahit may disagreement, ay kaya nyo, teka, hindi ito dahil sa hindi natin mahal ang isa't isa or something, di ba? Hindi lang talaga tayo nagkakasundo sa issue na yon.
Tama. Oo, tama. So, yun. Yeah, and it can put a strain. Talagang it can put a strain on families, no? Because nasabi ko nga ito, yung pagtanggap, di ba? Yung acceptance, hindi naman yan rarely ata sa isang pamilya na sabay-sabay nilang natanggap na noon. Merong dementia yung parent or whatever. There's always some divisiveness, I think, or merong iba na parang in denial, and sometimes the denial is there for a long time. So, I guess, yun. So, how do you resolve that? Right?
Ang mahirap kasi sa sakit kagaya ng dementia, which is, and depende sa klase ng dementia. May dementia kasi na matagal yung pag-develop because the change can be so gradual at the beginning. And at some point, actually, kaming mga mental health professionals, mga professional supporters, kumbaga, after a while, we switch na the support to the caregivers talaga. Kasi actually, masaya na si mami. Okay na siya, di ba? Stable, masaya na. It's the family around them that needs support. Kasi, and this is now your area, di ba? Because you're a grief coach as well. Because everyone's going through this grief process, which is an interesting experience kasi nandyan pa naman si mami. So actually, ang laki ng opportunity. Di ba? Ang laki ng opportunity to have healing, to have closure, to determine how you want things to go, no? Compared dun sa grief na talagang wala ng chance. At the same time, kaya iba-iba din ang process. Di ba? Iba-iba ang pacing. Some people can accept it earlier on, some people hindi. Lalo na pag hindi dramatic ang change, di ba? Mas malaki ang yung chance. Teka, baka hindi ito kasi yun ang grief process nila
Yeah, they're still here. And even in the latter stages, di ba? Sometimes they hardly speak, di ba? May ganun they get to that point, right? Where they speak. Some of them are, just bedridden. Well, they're still there. At least you can still hold them, di ba? You can still talk to them, reach out to them, hug them, di ba?
Minsan nga, di ba, even sa squeeze ng kamay nila sa iyo, parang, andun pa rin si mami.
Oo, nandyan pa rin, di ba? Nandyan pa rin. True. Yeah. That's how they express it na hindi na lang ma-verbalize, di ba? So, sa touch.
No, meron naman tayong sinasabi na, no, if they can't remember, the least we can do is remember for them. Diba? We can hold on to those memories. Hindi siya nawala. No? We can be the keepers of the memory. So, maybe as a last question to you, Miss Cathy, what is it that you would like to remember in behalf of your mom?
Yung caring. Well, actually, ang nickname nga niya, Karing. That's how her colleagues would call her, no? Karing. So, sabi ko, okay, now she's like, even at this stage, she's still being true to that, nature of her na maalalahanin, ganyan. Hindi lang bilang ina bilang yung sa mga kaibigan niya, talagang all-in siya sa mga taong nangangailangan, nandyan siya. So my mom's a very caring person. So I think that's what I'll always remember about her. And that's also kind of like, okay, what drives me at this time is to give back the care, di ba, that she's always given to everyone, especially to us, no? Especially to her loved ones. Yan.
Nako, thank you so much, Miss Cathy, na nakipag-share ka sa amin today. And in a way, parang kasi, thank you. I know it's not easy always to share your mom, your loved one, with the public. Diba? And marami namang rooting for her and care about her. And I think through these sharings, no, parang meron din silang na, parang, for me, just as a fan, diba? Okay. Diba? Parang, it gives us a sense of her pa rin, even if she's no longer active.
Thank you, Doc Anna.
Kung may gusto kayong pag-usapan, mag-iwan lang ng comment below or email us at sharekolang@gmanews.tv. We're also streaming on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. Thanks for tuning in.